Imagine dropping your car off at this massive centralized valet garage, say like AWS.
Right.
You hand over the keys and just sort of blindly trust they won't, take it for a joyride or lose your car. Filecoin, on the other hand, well, it's a garage that uses math to prove to you every single second that your car is safely parked.
Yeah, and that mathematical proof is really the whole ballgame.
Okay, let's unpack this because today we're doing a deep dive into Filecoin's massive 2026 evolution. We're looking at how it went from a simple storage protocol into, well, the foundational verifiable data layer for the global AI economy. For you listening, this is a huge shift.
It really is. I mean, if we aren't relying on a centralized valet, the network has to somehow mathematically guarantee your data is actually there.
Right, which sounds complicated.
Oh, it is. But what's fascinating here is how they achieve it using content identifiers, or CID.
CID's got it.
Yeah, because instead of pointing to a specific server location, which causes link rot if that server ever goes offline. CIDs actually locate data by what it is. It uses a unique cryptographic fingerprint.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then they run these continuous audits. They're called proof of replication and proof of spacetime.
Wait, hold on. Proof of spacetime.
I know, yeah.
That sounds like, like an episode of Doctor Who. How does that actually work in reality?
It sounds incredibly sci-fi, I totally agree. But basically, proof of replication forces a storage provider to prove they've created a unique physical copy of your data right there on their hardware.
Okay.
And then proof of spacetime kicks in to prove they are continuously storing that exact data over a specific period.
So it's an automated mathematical guarantee over both physical space and time.
Exactly.
But, when I hear crypto audits, I still immediately picture, like, some miner down in a basement with a dusty laptop.
Yeah.
But the sources show these are actually massive industrial scale operations, right?
Oh, absolutely.
We're talking data centers with multi-core CPUs, at least 128 gigs of RAM, and like enterprise level GPUs just to run these proofs.
Yeah, exactly. These are highly stable professional networks. They meet enterprise grade service level agreements. They aren't just hobbyists.
Right.
And, that trustless professional foundation is exactly why early 2026 is such a breakout moment for them.
Because of the AI supercycle.
Precisely. I mean, AI models are just starving for massive data sets.
Yeah, they need a ton of data.
But they desperately need those data sets to be verifiable. That prevents data poisoning, which is where manipulated or fake inputs can just ruin the whole model.
Right, which is where the FVM comes in.
Yeah, the Filecoin virtual machine. It totally changed the game by enabling what they call compute over data.
Just so I understand this, by compute over data, you mean instead of a developer expensively downloading petabytes of data to analyze it locally on their machine, they just send their AI algorithm directly into the storage facility.
That is exactly it. The network processes the information right there where it lives, and that cuts data movement costs and latency by up to 70%.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though, because to make that real-time compute actually work for AI, well, the network had to fix its speed.
Right.
They recently implemented this fast finality upgrade known as F3. Because historically, transaction confirmations took a sluggish 7.5 hours.
Yeah, which is an eternity for AI.
Exactly. But the F3 upgrades slashed that down to under 60 seconds.
Which is just a massive leap. I mean, how did they pull that off without sacrificing the security of the network?
Well, they totally overhauled the consensus mechanism. Instead of the network waiting for multiple new blocks to just slowly build on top of a transaction to prove it's permanent, F3 uses a separate parallel voting process.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it happens among the validators to lock in the transaction immediately. It's what finally allows for those high-frequency data deals the AI market really demands right now.
It makes perfect sense.
Okay, so the tech works, and it's fast enough. But, none of that really matters if the SEC just decides to shut the whole network down for being an unregistered security.
Right, exactly.
How did they actually survive the 2026 regulatory purges we saw?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, the regulatory landscape actually shifted entirely in their favor.
Wait, really?
Yeah, in March 2026, there was this landmark SEC interpretive release. It officially classified Filecoin as a digital commodity.
Huge.
By formally acknowledging the network's decentralization, the SEC shielded the whole ecosystem from those restrictive securities laws. It basically just opened the floodgates for serious institutional money.
So what does this all mean for you listening? Well, when you pair that legal clarity with the network's tokenomics, you hit a massive turning point. the October 2026 vesting cliff.
Oh, that is such a huge catalyst because for years, early investors had tokens unlocking every single month.
Right.
It just created this relentless sell pressure on the market.
Exactly. And that cliff means those initial early investor unlocks permanently end.
Yes.
So the new supply just gets choked off right at the exact moment that AI models are burning millions of tokens to fuel all this data processing.
It completely flips the supply and demand dynamics. The network shifts into a deflationary era, turning the token into what the market is now calling sound data money.
Wow.
I mean, we are looking at a trustless infrastructure here that costs a fraction of AWS, and it's actively being used today to preserve everything from public government records in Bermuda to, interstellar astrophysics research.
Which is incredible. And it leaves you with one final wild thought from the deep dive to just sort of mull over on your own.
Oh, yeah, this part is crazy.
We are now seeing autonomous AI agents using programmable payments to retrieve data on this network.
Right.
So if autonomous machines are now paying other machines to store and verify human history entirely without any central valet holding the keys, who will ultimately curate the memory of the internet?